What's up, people? Puto Gonzalez in the house. Fuck, now it's work. Fucking stream wasn't working before, man. Oh shit, sorry. Anyways, we are here, we are live. It's fucking Friday night. Instead of going out, we're doing this show. Your host is King Bucho, obviously. BDA is probably doing cocaine off a hooker's ass or something like that. So let him enjoy his Friday. Let him enjoy his Friday. What's up, real news? If I sound too loud, let me know. I think I'm fucking too loud. Alright. Alright. Well, Nino Gagi says, I'm hungover, can't go out tonight. Did you have those drinks on Thursday? Was it cheaper? Happy hour? That's the time to drink. Wait a minute, you drank when? Because you haven't recuperated from a hangover. Must have been some crazy night. Alright. Do I sound fine from this distance? I'll take that as a yes.
You sound better now.
How do I sound here? Like, do I sound good?
You sound normal though. Wherever you were when you said whatever you said just before that, when you asked if you sounded alright, you sounded like a little bit weird, a bit robotic, but...
Okay, now I'm fine.
Yeah, you're good now, you're good.
Alright, perfect. Yarp says, I know Jonathan says, Yarp sounding all, yup, all Mexicani, obviously, representing. Gonzalez says, drink my way home after work. My god. Nino Gagi says, I went out with my buddy and we got nuts. No shit, you still hungover. Alright, by the way, we have, as you guys can hear, we have Abstract on the line.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What do we mean when we say throwing punches with bad intention? We mean we want to seriously hurt people.
That's your intro.
Yeah, man. Fucking hell. It's a proud moment in the Abstract household tonight. I've been immortalized on the BDA hangout.
Exactly. I'm gonna play it again because I don't think it was loud enough.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What do we mean when we say throwing punches with bad intention? We mean we want to seriously hurt people.
Alright. So that's your intro. And you better like it. So what's up, man? What time is it over there?
Got tears in my eyes, man.
Jesus.
It's 8 minutes past 2 a.m.
Oh damn.
I'm a
Pretty
night
late.
owl, man. I produce music for a living now, and fucking most of the time I'm working with like young people that want to work at night. So I've ended up with a like weird fucking body clock where I'm just turned into a bit of a night owl, basically.
Oh, I see. You're a vampire. So
yeah,
you're like Pavel.
Pretty much.
Alright. So, did you hear about Eddie Hearn working with Ludibella?
No.
No, they
Working
just
with
go
him?
promoting with Tevin Farmer. It's no big deal.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, well, they're co-promoting Tevin Farmer, but a lot of people are complaining that we're still not getting any good cards on the zone, and they're shitting all over Eddie Hearn. And like I said, give the guy a chance. I'm not a pro Eddie Hearn fan. I'm not a fan of any promoter. I'm a fan of good fights. If Eddie Hearn starts fucking up, I'm gonna start calling him on it. But so far, it's the early stages of his new project, and I want to see where it goes. I'm not gonna start shitting on the guy, but you know where this is coming from. I just hate it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm the same as you. I'm not. I think all promoters are, you know, by nature they're kind of like snakes, like really, you know, and they're all like shady in certain ways, and you know they'll fucking do shady stuff to protect their fighters and whatnot. But this is how I am with fighters as well. Like, I'm not gonna shit on a fighter just because everybody's shitting on a fighter, and I'm not gonna shit on a promoter just because everyone's shitting on a promoter. It's like whoever's like the person to shit on of the moment. It's almost like boxing fans are like, if you don't, you're a fanboy. You know, like I'm a boxing fan. I'm a fan of the sport of boxing. I'm a fan of good fights. I'm a fan of guys that, you know, put it on the line and entertain me, and that's it. And if they, you know, if any of them do anything that I don't like, I'll fucking talk about it and I'll say it. And criticizing Eddie, what he's not putting any good cards on the zone yet. Isn't this the first card?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, what are we like criticizing people for, like, for what they're not going to do in the future yet? I mean, are we criticizing something like, you know, what would be the term for it, like post, like, you know, before the event? Like, he hasn't put a card on yet. How can we criticize anything yet? There's nothing to criticize yet.
Yeah, I know. It's obviously an agenda-driven hate.
Yeah,
they want Al Heyman to succeed and Eddie Hearn to fail, but they don't even acknowledge the failures that Al Heyman has actually gone through. But anyways, we're not gonna get into that.
They don't acknowledge any of the negatives about Al Heyman. They don't acknowledge the way he sort of like puts the kibosh on a lot of fights happening. He just says no, it's not happening, and sets up fights that really are irrelevant. You know, the insane stuff that's in his contract. They don't acknowledge any of that stuff. And look, at the end of the day, and I said this when the whole, you know, zone thing was first announced and whatnot, it's kind of like, if anything that gives us some extra fight, injects some extra money, I don't care if it's $1 billion, I don't care if it's half you know, people are arguing, oh, it's not really $1 billion, blah, blah. I don't really give a fuck about any of that. What I care about is that somebody is going to be injecting some more money into the sport and is going to be offering fighters decent, like, persons to fight each other and trying to put decent fights on. And anything that sort of like injects cash and puts on fights into this sport is definitely worthy of at least an open mind. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking just crazy.
Exactly. I was pro Al Heyman or whatever. Not Al Heyman, PBC, because see, I don't want to get this person, like, make it personal, like Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn. PBC. I was a pro PBC fan because I wanted to see boxing grow, especially on network television. Because obviously it has more reach, more viewers. But Al Heyman failed, and I'm calling him on it, and then he put on garbage fights. So that makes me a hater all of a sudden. Well, I was supporting him before. Yeah. Now I'm criticizing him because I have reason to criticize him.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is kind of like people quick to jump on you and call you a hater and whatnot, or, you know, say, oh, you just agreeing with this person and whatnot. They used to do, like, I was on, I don't know if you ever saw the Boxing Gossip podcast. We were doing it for about 2 years, and I was on it from the start. And kind of like there was people used to accuse me of being fanboys of certain fighters, or, you know, just agreeing with certain other channels and whatnot. And if they just bothered to do some research, they'd find out that, like, you know, like I was criticizing that fighter a little while ago, or, you know, I was disagreeing with that channel a little while ago. I just say things how I see it. Some people, and, you know, Precise used to talk about this all the time, some people are just like too emotional. They're in their emotions, you know, and that really is what it is. They look at things through a lens of not the sport of boxing, or not looking at a fighter's skills, or not looking at the things that you should be looking at, but they're looking at skin color, they're looking at politics, they're looking at who you know, like who, like one of the fighters, say Floyd, is endorsing or whatever. Like, it's all just like, I don't know, that some people just can't seem to look at this sport sort of like sensibly or objectively.
Yeah, they have to bring social issues that have nothing to do with boxing and implement them basically in over here in this sport. I don't know.
It's fucking frustrating, man. It's
I know.
frustrating.
I know.
It really is.
And then, like, when you challenge these people, they tell you, "Oh, are you saying there's no racism?" I never said there's no racism. I'm just saying that some of these accusations that you're making in the sport of boxing don't have any foundations. Oh, people like Lomachenko because he's not black, because he's white. It's like, how do you explain that? First of all, I'm Mexican, so I'm not white. Well, oh, because you hate the black man, you hate black domination. Or I also heard, oh, you want to be friends with the white people. I was like, are you okay? What is this, apartheid with South Africa or some shit? Like, get out of here, man. Like,
If somebody said that to me and I was Mexican, I'd be like, yeah, I'm happy to be friends with white people and Mexicans and black people. I don't give a fuck about who they are. I care about their fucking character and what they're like as people. Man,
exactly.
It's like,
I can be friends with
and like
anyone.
This whole racism thing, yeah, of course there's racism, but there's racism both ways, for one, and for two, if the sport of boxing is so sort of like you know, racist against blacks and that's what like some of these people are sort of like trying to say. Why was Floyd like on top for so fucking long? Like, how was that allowed to happen in this incredibly racist, you know, like, it's just fucking nonsense. These people don't seem to have the sort of like wherewithal to actually weigh this shit up and actually come up with some kind of sensible comment, like, you know.
Yeah.
So what do you think of them? Sorry, no, go on. I don't know.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, let's move on. So go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you what you think of the Saunders Andrade fight. What your take on it is? How do you think it's going to go? Well, the reason I mention it is because I see that in the title, so I'm guessing that's one of the things you were planning on talking about anyway, was it?
Yeah, they're putting the title. Yeah.
Didn't you have in the title?
Oh yeah, because I changed it.
The original.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, let's talk about that. Well, I think it's a good fight. Now Saunders says that Andrade didn't want to fight in the UK, so Saunders now has to go to the US, which I don't really care. Saunders already beat Lemieux over here in Canada, so I don't think it's gonna make a difference. As far as the fight goes, I think Saunders wins this fight. I haven't been impressed by Andrade. Is it Andrade or Andrade?
It's Andrade. I seen an interview with him where he talked about himself in the third person. And a side note: never trust a man that talks about himself in the in the third person. But yeah, he said God. Demetrius Andrade. So
okay.
From his own mouth, it is Andrade. Everyone seems to say Andrade, but it's Andrade.
All right. So Andrade, I have never been impressed with this guy, but he can prove me wrong against Billy Joe Saunders. So, but I just see Saunders outboxing this guy. What do you think?
I'm with you. I think Saunders wins. I mean, I was kind of impressed with Andrade earlier in his career, but just, you know, like a lot of fighters can look good early when they're not fighting anybody, you know. He didn't impress me in the Corke fight. I thought that was a close fight. He didn't seem to be able. I didn't think he really hurt him too much either. You know, I mean, you know, and then there was the Varnes fight. I mean, like, I thought he beat Varnes, but you know, like people are talking about Andrade as some like somebody tweeted the other day like, oh, he's gonna knock Billy Joe Saunders out. I'm like, I don't think so. Like, if you see what a proper puncher at 160 does to a guy like Andrade, just watch the Triple G fight. He couldn't get runners out of there. Saunders has got a good chin, man. So I think Saunders is if Saunders is fit, you know, and it seems since he's moved up north with oh fucking hell, forget the guy's name now. Cal Brooks trainer, little bald fella. Yeah, his fitness has looked a lot better because he's really struggled with you know, fitness and with his lifestyle and stuff like that, but he seems to have got that under control. For me, when he's fit and he's Dominic Ingle, thanks, apology.
Yeah.
Up with Dominic Ingle. When he's fit and his mind's right, and he's on it, I think he's elite. I think Saunders is really, really good boxer, and I see him outboxing Andrade, to be honest.
Yep. Like you said, I see some comments, not in this chat, but on the internet, saying that Andrade is gonna knock Billy Joe Saunders out, or that it's just basically he's gonna win the fight. They're still clinging to this idea that he's some sort of special fighter. This is what I don't see anymore. When I said, like you said, you were kind of impressed with him, I was too, but like you said, at some point he's knocking out these guys that nobody really knows. Then when he steps up in competition, that's when you really have to analyze the fighter. Sort of like Keith Thurman. When at the beginning he impresses with knocking out these people, but later on he wasn't one-time Thurman anymore because he wasn't knocking people out. So it's kind of the same thing with Andrade. That Martirosyan fight, bah. And then his HBO debut, I wasn't really impressed. So this is a fight for him, but some people still have hope that he's a gem. I'm not sold, but this fight will tell us. Oh yeah, see what they were saying in the comments? They was like, oh, Billy Joe Saunders is gonna get knocked out or he's gonna lose. Remember when he was exposed against what was that Russian guy's name, or East European?
Akavov.
They went back to that fight.
Oh man, like,
yeah,
he wasn't exposed. He fucking exposed himself, man. He was so unfit and whatnot. I mean, if you look at that performance and then look at like the Lemieux performance or even the Andy Lee performance, it's fucking two different fighters. So I mean, if that's your hope that the Saunders from the Akavov fight shows up, wow. In addition, put your money on that if you want. Like,
in addition of that fight, they said that he beat Lemieux, but Lemieux is a very one-dimensional fighter, very robotic, no technique. So they basically dismissed that win as well. So basically, Billy Joe hasn't done shit.
Well, I mean, look, Lemieux's no elite fighter. Let's be honest. But Lemieux is a former world champion. Let's like, you know, he's not a bum. He's not.
That power though.
Say again.
That power is extremely dangerous. He managed not to get hit flush at all for 12 rounds. I mean, yes, like you said, Lemieux is not an elite fighter, but he's not a bum either. He has a lot of power.
Well, I mean, somebody just put in the chat who was Andrade beat recently. I don't think he's fought for about a year, has he? Like, was it like I think it's about October or November last year that he last fought.
Oh, really? I don't put a lot of emphasis on these 1 year layoffs because you never know. Maybe a fighter actually gets a bit rusted during that 1 year, or other fighters actually they feel refreshed because they took a sort of like a break. So I mean, who knows? We can't really say much about that layoff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's as sort of like important or as big a deal as some people make it, but I do think it makes a difference. I think when you're at an elite level in anything, little things make a difference. Like, you know, it's like a fine-tuned sort of like well-oiled machine. If you want to be fighting at the elite level, or as you know, be the best fighter you can be. Guy in the thing says Andy Lee should have gotten the decision against Saunders. I mean, that for me that's a crazy thing to say, man. Like, he dropped, how many times did he drop him? I mean, for me, he won that fight by quite some way, to be completely honest. So I don't know why he's saying that, the guy.
Yeah. We Degree says, is somebody banging a porn star in the background, Bucho, or is it a train? Yeah. First of all, what kind of, you mean this sound? That's a chair. Porn star. All right. Okay, so Saunders, we have Saunders, both of us, as winning this fight. I agree. I mean, Andrade, fuck out of here. All right, next fight. All right. So I heard you're traveling to Saudi Arabia to watch the final of the World Boxing Super Series Super Middleweight final between Callum Smith and George Groves. I don't think you're gonna travel, but yeah, that's a bad move. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but anyways.
Well, I think what a bad move as in having it in Saudi Arabia.
Sorry, what?
What do you mean, a bad move as in having it there in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, two British fighters, and nobody's gonna travel.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Saudi Arabia were supposed to host the Usyk Gassiev, the original Usyk Gassiev fight, and then obviously Usyk was injured. It had to be rescheduled. They couldn't. The rescheduled fight, the date of the rescheduled fight didn't work with the venue or whatever in Saudi Arabia, and so it was moved to Russia. And I think in with their contract with whoever it was in Saudi Arabia, they had to sort of like, I think that's kind of like, well, they had to give them this one. Like, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. That's what I've heard, and that's for me the only way it makes any sense whatsoever. Because I mean, Groves Smith would be quite a big fight in the UK, to be completely honest.
Oh yeah. But anyways, they have their own deals. I'm sure you're not gonna travel over there. Besides, like, who's gonna travel there? You can't even drink. I mean, Jesus. I think you don't drink anymore, but I drink, so I would I wouldn't go there. But anyways,
I mean, there's a lot of places that you know, in inverted commas, can't drink, but you can.
oh,
you can, yeah. I mean, no, I definitely won't be traveling over there for it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that competitive anyway, to be completely honest. I think, personally, Groves is a level above Callum Smith. I haven't been impressed with Callum Smith. He looked good against Rocky Fielding, but then he's looked vulnerable, and he's looked subpar against some pretty mediocre guys since that Rocky Fielding fight. So I've never been somebody that really rated Callum Smith that highly, to be completely honest.
yeah, he's very conservative. He doesn't let his hands go, high guard. Some people might think, oh, because he's a specialist, he's picking his shots. No, it's just that he doesn't take any chances.
Yeah.
And the power is not really there. That straight right might be like, okay, it's something he goes through opponent's defense and stuff, but like you said, I don't think so. I just think Groves has much more experience, and eventually he's gonna land. He's open to left hooks, Callum Smith, by the way. I think he's gonna get caught at some point. He might even get stopped. I'm not even joking.
I think that's a good shout. You know, like people like see. This is the thing. Like especially here in the UK, there's, you know, like a couple of years ago, there was a bit of a year or two ago, was a bit of a buzz around him. There still is a bit of a buzz around him, people were talking about his power. But it's okay to be knocking out people in, you know, the early part of your career. It's like Daniel Dubois. You know, I don't know if you know about this. There's a guy, Steve Bunce. He's on a boxing program.
He looks
here
like
in
he's
the UK,
drunk
and he
all the
came
time.
out and said that what was it? Daniel Dubois' power is the biggest puncher in boxing, biggest puncher since Mike Tyson or something.
Oh.
He's like, this guy's fucking.
Get out of
he's
here!
knocked out a couple of taxi drivers and a milkman.
He's getting
like,
paid to say that.
Come on, you can't start talking about people like that until they've fought somebody that they you know should be in with. You know, it's just ridiculous. So no, I don't think he's got a huge amount of power either, to be honest.
Is it a big fight over there in the UK?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be. I mean, I don't know what the time difference is going to be. I mean, that's going to make a difference because, like, when pay-per-views happen in the US, that puts a big dent because, like, it's usually about 5 a.m. here. I mean, I stay up and watch them, but fucking boxing nut, like, and probably be up anyway. But I think it'll really. If it was here, it'd be a big fight. It is a big fight. Not a huge fight, but it's a big fight.
It's gonna be on Box Nation or Sky or BT Sports.
I'm not even sure yet. I mean, if I'm honest, I fucking stream everything. I don't ever buy pay-per-views. I don't really.
Brandon White in the chat says, "I heard Dubois got dropped in sparring."
From Bacoli. Maybe. There's rumors about everybody, man. Like, I've been watching boxing a long time, and there's guys that are kind of like spoken about in these revered terms now that I can remember when they were active. There was the same fucking dropped in sparring rumors. Lennox Lewis. There was apology. I don't support. I know I'm a hater. Apology is what I am, actually. To be fair, that's the correct term. Like, yeah, Lennox Lewis, even Mike Tyson. There was you know, I was around during Mike Tyson's, you know, when he won the title and you know, that reign of his, and like there was rumors about him as well. You know, there's always rumors about people, and I don't think getting dropped is really a huge indicator of much anyway. I think, especially at heavyweight, like I think anybody can get dropped at heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, they were making a big deal of Joshua getting knocked out by Dylan White in the amateurs, and what happened in the professionals. You know, that's not even a sparring fight. That's a real competitive amateur fight.
I mean, he only got knocked down, didn't he? Anyway, by
White.
Knocked down. I think he went the distance, didn't it? In the amateurs, that amateur fight, he lost the fight. But yeah, I mean, you know, name me a fighter throughout history that never got dropped. You know, even the fighters that are just totally revered, they've all got dropped.
TBE Floyd Mayweather, never been dropped, never been defeated.
Never been dropped that was called. Yeah, is that what we're saying? Is that what we mean? That's what you meant to say, wasn't it?
That wasn't a lockdown. That didn't count.
Okay.
All right, hold on, guys. I have to introduce Apology.
Of the devil, and they shall appear.
She just wanted the drama and you two to fight over her. That's what women do. All of you.
Bitches are stupid. I treat them like shit. That's how you get one to eat a dick. Never be sweet to a bitch.
I don't know. The sound is not loud enough.
Speak of the devil, and they shall appear.
Whatever. All right, welcome Apology, and continue, guys. I have to invite Recognize.
What's up, Apology?
Yeah, hello, Abstract.
You good?
Yeah, just getting prepared for university, but apart from that, I'm all good.
Cool, man. What's your take on I don't know if you heard me and Bucho were talking about the Saunders Andrade fight.
Yeah, I mean, certain people from certain groups, let's say, that are overhyping Andrade, and I feel that Andrade is not that good. Like, he's no better than the Charlos, and BJ Saunders should be levels above him. Like, BJ Saunders is talented when he focuses and trains properly, and he's mentally fit. So Saunders should do a job on him. If not, then no. I still
Yeah.
rate Andre that highly,
Sorry.
but Saunders should win.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the question is, how do you beat Saunders? And okay, first let's answer that question. How do you guys think is the best way to approach Billy Joe Saunders?
Cut off the ring.
Yeah, and throw a lot of feints. Because if you're predictable, we just count you all day.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
close
what
distance.
that's what I said when the question of I think it was right after the Lemieux fight. People started talking about would Saunders beat Triple G, and that was what I said at the time. I think Triple G's all wrong for Saunders because of the way he cuts off the ring. You've got to have power as well. I think you've got, because Saunders is a good counter puncher. Saunders is a versatile fighter as well. That's the thing. I mean, if you're looking at the Eubank Jr. fight, he totally outboxed him for the first half of that fight. Even in the second half of that fight, he got caught with quite a few shots. He got caught by Andy Lee as well, and he always counters. Like he's you need a good amount of power to keep him honest, man. Like.
You also need to, what Triple G does, he changes the pace. Like, Lemieux will just fighting at one place, plodding forward, throwing punches at one pace. Triple G will throw like soft, hard, or fast, slow, and that will confuse the opponent.
Yeah, I hear people talking about fighters that do that. Like recently, someone talking about Lomachenko, like, he throws these pity pat shots and whatnot. It's just like, come on, you just don't understand boxing if that's what if you want to criticize somebody for changing up the pace of their punches and stuff, you don't really understand what they're doing. Like, the other thing Saunders does really well for me is he takes the opponent's weapons away. He takes away, like, he takes away a jab really, really well. He's a clever fighter, man. Saunders. I think he's quite underrated. Saunders.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's a little bit overrated. But I think the way to beat him,
underrated. I said.
Yeah, underrated. I think so too.
I thought you said overrated then.
No. He's definitely not overrated. I mean, unless you're like a huge fanboy, then you might overrate him. But I think he's a little underrated, and I think that the way to beat him, you got to close distance. You got to make him fight. You know what I'm saying? You got to make him fight, make him make mistakes. And that's how you beat him. Try to pressure him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that.
All right. Apparently, some people hear some banging in the background, and they say it's a porn-related background noise. I don't know what that means.
Really?
Sounds good on my end. I don't know what they're saying. Anyways.
Well, I'm innocent of that charge. I've got you guys on the iPad, and I'm using the phone to talk. So
how do you guys?
Not me.
I got you on the. I'm not using my headphones right now.
I can hear you fine, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't hear the clicking sound.
Yeah, it's these fucking new headphones that I got, man. They're the worst.
All right.
It's when he's in the police station that he's at work and that's when it's noisy.
I'm not a cop, man. Let's go.
Dirty cop, like training day.
I can understand why people would think that. Every time I'm on, you hear police sirens.
Yeah.
Right. If anybody understood Manhattan, that's all you hear all day. That's why I work at Manhattan. It's all you hear is like the ambulance passing by, the police passing by, fire trucks passing by, the whole nine.
Yeah, recognize uses flyers. as warrants and goes into people's houses and shit. Anyways, all right. So recognize you have Billy Joe Saunders as a favorite against Andrade.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you don't buy into the whole Andrade is a jam, waiting to be found.
I give
Waiting
Andrade
to
a
shine.
decent chance because whenever you fight a guy who's really not a knockout artist, right? Somebody who can hurt you and stop you. I think you got to give the opposite fighter, in this case Andrade, who's decent. I think he's decent, and maybe he's better than decent. Maybe he just needs the right opponent. But I'll give him a chance. But just going off of resume and their style of fighting, yeah, I gotta give the edge to Saunders, a significant edge, not just barely. I think he beats him. For every 1 round he wins, Andrade wins, Saunders wins 2, so 8 rounds to 4 kind of fight. You know what I'm saying?
All right, guys, keep on talking. I have to check the sound.
Yeah, no, I just give him I give him the significant edge. I think there's more to Saunders' resume, which is pretty good. That's his resume is pretty damn good. He beat Andy Lee, he beat Willie Monroe, he beat he beat Lemieux. He's beat Eubanks. So his resume is decent. Where Andrade, his best win was against Vanez Motorosian, and that was a rather close fight. Not that Motorosian is not. I'm not saying Motorosian's a bum fighter, because I don't think he is. But the fight was competitive, is what I'm saying. The fight, you could actually go either way. Where I think that besides the Eubanks fight when he faded late, remember that? If you guys saw that fight.
Yeah.
Pretty much every other fight he won convincingly. I thought he beat, no doubt he beat Eubanks, but I just thought that in the end, towards the ending of that fight, he started to fade away a bit.
Yeah, well, he had a problem with stamina and the way he was living out of the ring, and it's this move to the new trainer that's kind of changed that for him. And that's one of the reasons I'm picking him in this fight. Didn't Varnes drop Andrade as well, I think?
Yeah, Vanez did score a knockdown. Yeah, it was Vanez. It was Vanez that knocked him down.
Yeah.
Someone knocked him down. I believe it was Vanez. I mean, anybody, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Vanez. But I mean, in the Jack Corke fight as well, I mean, I thought the Corke fight was quite close as well. I mean, I know Corke's short and he's quite awkward and stuff, but if you're picking Andrade to beat Billy Joe Saunders, you'd imagine that he'd deal with Corke a lot, kind of more easy than he did for me.
Andrade looked tired in that fight towards the end. He ran out of steam.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
What the hell was Andrade wearing? Jesus.
Yeah, that looked horrible. I don't know what the hell that was.
Terrible, man.
Do you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the volume was too high. Yeah, what was Andrade wearing? I'm gonna find it and put it on the screen because everybody's talking about it.
Did he say the British was coming?
In the press conference, he had some kind of it looked like when the mayor comes out and they've got all them mad clothes, and then he had a jacket with no fucking arms, and then the trousers were fucking elasticated at the butt. He looked I just don't know, man. There's no name for what he was wearing, to be completely honest.
Did he say the British was coming?
Oh, he looks like Booker T.
Like that.
You guys remember? He looks like a pirate. All right, I'm putting it on.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Sorry. Keep on talking.
he finally gets his shot to prove himself, right? I mean, he's always like calling out people but never fighting them. So this is his shot to prove himself that he can, he can fight an elite fighter. I would say Billy Joe Saunders is an elite fighter.
The only thing I do question is whether there'll be any shenanigans because obviously Andrade's an Eddie Hearn fighter, and Eddie Hearn's, you would imagine, quite desperate for this to be a success and for to buy a bout basically for the zone, like So I just wonder whether it'll be fair, like scoring and stuff.
Is this the first time Eddie Hearn and Warren worked together?
Yeah,
Wow.
think so.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll be interested in seeing who has the most pull, or would they just call the fight down the middle because it's Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren.
I mean, Eddie Hearn cards in the last couple of years have had some shocking decisions. Like, there's been some full on. I'm not one of these people that sort of like calls every bad decision a robbery. For me, if a fight's quite close and there's a lot of swing rounds and that, I can't call that a robbery. Because everybody sees a fight differently and stuff. But there've been some proper fucking robberies on Matchroom cards recently. So it's a worry in my view.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm just looking at Andrade, man. What the fuck?
It looks like the town crier.
Yeah, what's that white thing on his chest? Is it supposed to be like a necklace or no? What do you call those things? Like a handkerchief or something?
I don't know. It's like 18th century
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
pirates
Looks
shit.
like he was on his way to an audition for some period movie or something like. There's a town crier. Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah. He's just missing a bell. Dun, dun. Anyways, fucking weirdo, man. But anyways, look, it's a good fight. We can't complain. Nobody's complaining. I hope nobody's complaining.
No, it's a good fight. I mean, look, did he really prove anything to warrant a shot at middleweight? I mean, you could say that about just about a lot of opponents these days.
Okay, but he's facing Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders facing Andrade. Good fight. Who is Charlo facing?
Who is who?
Charlo facing Jamal.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I totally agree. Jamal Charlo, the middleweight Charlo. He hasn't fought good opponents since he's gotten up to 160. His last legit fight was Julian Williams at 154. So
yeah,
he's not fighting anybody.
And it doesn't matter that Andrade is facing Billy Joe Saunders. No matter what happens in that fight, and no matter who Charlo fights, Charlo will still be considered above these two guys. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, and I don't think he should, but I agree that I guess most boxing fans will, should I say boxing fans or just like the media, will cover it as Charlo's more of a threat to whoever's going to be standing as the middleweight, champion. It's just, I mean, he hasn't fought anyone at middleweight, but meanwhile, I get what you're saying, where these two guys are going to fight each other, and the winner, whoever wins, is still not going to be considered, and especially if it's Billy Joe Saunders, who has a better resume than both guys put together.
Yeah.
They're still not going to give him the proper respect as, the legit threat to Golovkin or Canelo.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, a lot of it has to do with punching power. I get that. You know, punching power sells. But the other is just bias. You know, it's just
Yeah. Well, I
like
want
you.
Charlo to face the winner of Canelo Golovkin before Billy Joe Saunders does, just because of all that talk. Obviously, Billy Joe Saunders, he deserves that fight against the winner of this September fight, but I want to see Charlo just get it over with. There's all this talk about Charlo, so fuck, just fight the winner, man. Billy Joe Saunders can wait.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It could wait. It's been a while already. Why not wait one more fight?
You
I want
think
to see.
Oh, good.
No, I just want to get that fight over with too. Go ahead, apology.
Do you think Hearn will put Charlo with GGT now? I think he will wait like a year or so.
Cool. Charlo?
Yeah, you won't put Hearn won't put Charlo in with GGT straight away.
You said Hearn?
Charlo
Yeah.
isn't with Hearn yet. Charlo
No.
isn't with Hearn.
Not
Is he?
signed with Hearn.
Is he with Hearn?
No.
thought
Okay, we're
he
getting
signed.
confused. Okay, hold on. Charlo is not with Eddie Hearn.
No, I mean I know Eddie Hearn wanted to sign both of them, didn't he? But
no.
they
I
haven't.
thought
They
it was
haven't signed.
confirmed. My mistake. Well, Heyman won't put Charlo in with GGG yet.
Apologies,
We'll probably
starting
wait
fucking
another year.
rumors.
I mean, personally, I'd like to see the Saunders fight next, simply because
Oh, fuck.
the longer it doesn't happen, I like to see undisputed. Like, I'm a fan of unifying the titles. You know, I don't really want to see Saunders versus Triple G in like, a year from now when Triple G's, like another year older. Um, I'd like to. I like Triple G. Like I'm a fan of Triple G. I like the way he fights. I like, the way he doesn't duck anybody. And people that are saying he's ducking this person and that person are just fucking idiots. I'd like to see him unify all those titles, man. To be honest.
Oh, wait. Talking about unification, the IBF is now vacant. Who's gonna fight for that title again? Oh yeah, Jacobs against Derevyanchenko.
Yeah.
So
That's a pretty weird scenario because weren't they both trained? Am I getting that right? Both of them were trained by the same fighter at one point.
I have no idea.
I could be
Somebody
wrong.
knows in the chat. Let us know.
What's up, everybody? Man, it's ElDude right here.
Holy shit! What's up?
What's up, dude?
Just to add to look at the IBF, man, also has Demetrius Andrade at number 4.
So why is he fighting for the title?
Because he's fighting Billy Joe. He's the mandatory for Billy Joe at the WBO, but he's also ranked at the IBF.
Yeah.
So being that it'll look like he might get the winner between Jacobs and Derevyanchenko.
So yeah, the winner unifies.
Well, I mean that would be good. I mean to have like two titleists with 2 belts apiece. 2 of the major belts. Whoever wins between Golovkin and Canelo will have 2 belts, right? And then you get whoever wins the IBF and then the WBO situation. If they were to make that mandatory, that would be nice. Yeah.
Hey, let me
I
send a shout out real quick.
Apologies point was a good one, actually. Sorry to interrupt, ElDude. That about whether Al Heyman will put Charlo in with Triple G. I think it's probably unlikely. If you look at like past evidence, fighters that are kind of like promising, that show some promises regards commercial terms, Heyman don't tend to like to put them in big fights or in dangerous fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it seems that way. It does seem that he doesn't put them in right away. I could see a scenario where maybe if Triple G or Canelo look like they're in a really tough spot, tough fight, and they even look vulnerable that they would try to push for the winner. If they both look good and it's like a tactical fight, whoever wins a tactical fight, I can see where they'll chill out with that. Or if one guy, you know, destroys the other, they'll be like, wait a second, you know, I don't know about that. You know, for some reason, I get the feeling that Charlos are not that afraid of Canelo. That doesn't mean that Canelo's not a great fighter. They're just better. You know, it's just they look at his height. You know, it's as simple as that. Like his height versus my height. You know, power for power. My reach will get there. It could be one of those kind of things. You know, where they look at it in a tactical of both fighters. But I think that if they look impressive, they look real impressive, both of them. You know, whoever wins and it's a tactical fight, you might see some hesitation on their part. Unless they can get things their way. You know what I mean?
Yep. ElDude, you want to say something?
I just wanted to send a shout out to everybody in the chat. I saw one my YouTube boxing aficionado homies right here. John Castellanos, big shout out to you. Everybody in the chat. Everybody on the panel. What's up, everybody?
Oh, yeah. What up? Somebody's... Hawker Mustang is saying that you picked Fury to beat Wilder and he's shocked. And I told him, I did the same thing. I'm picking fucking Fury to win this fight.
I don't know who I'm picking yet, but I think that as the fight comes along, I might lean towards Fury.
Leaning towards Wilder. I think he's the better conditioned athlete, and the fight is in his home turf, so it's going to be some bullshit. So I'm going Wilder.
Yeah, it might be.
The reason I'm going with Fury is like we talked on the BDA channel not too long ago. It's because we believe, some of us, that Deontay Wilder cannot hurt Tyson Fury downstairs, man. He's too big.
Yeah, he might need to do that in order to, you know, Fury might be one of those type of guys that you need to break him down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, can you knock him down? And we've seen Cunningham I would say Cunningham caught him off guard. You know, just hit him with a beautiful shot and dropped him. Got back up, pissed him off, and we saw what happened at the end of the fight.
Nevin Pikage as well, though. Nevin Pikage dropped him as well, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
But we also seen what Luis Ortiz being shorter, what he was capable of doing against Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury reminds me of a style of Luis Ortiz, but just much bigger. So imagine, in other words, how would Luis Ortiz would have performed against Deontay Wilder if he would have been the Tyson Fury size?
The fight that always stands out to me is the Gerald Washington fight, El Gallo Negro. Him. You know, that guy, man, I just thought if he would have been a bit more aggressive and, you know, followed up with an aggressive right hand, man, he could have did some more damage, I think. Because the jab, the feints were getting were definitely frustrating Deontay Wilder. I just thought that he was just, you know, a little too passive, you know.
Yeah, one thing I thought in that fight as well, and I don't know if you guys can tell me, am I fucking crazy? Because I didn't hear many people, if any people, saying this. I didn't really like that fucking stoppage, the Wilder Washington fight.
Yeah, man, I was just about it. He kind of about to say that. He caught him in the back of the head.
Yeah, and then at the point the referee actually jumped in, Wilder actually didn't land any punches. Anybody that wants to go back and look at it, at the point the referee jumped in, Wilder didn't land anything, or even come close to landing anything.
I mean,
I thought it was a shitty stoppage. Sorry, Bucho.
No, you're right. And how do Wilder, like, how is he gonna? Because everybody's like, oh, eventually he's gonna land that right hand. But fuck, Fury's gonna see those shots coming. This guy knows how to move. He has good reflexes. Wilder will have to set up his punches, and he has never ever done that. He cannot set up his punches, man. He just throws that right hand from afar, and then eventually it lands. But it won't land against Fury. That's my fucking opinion.
Something that
I believe so. I'm sorry, Matrix. I was just gonna say that because Tyson is taller. I don't think he's gonna be getting hit behind the head because those are some of the knockdowns that Deontay Wilder had over his opponents. by hitting his
Ortiz-
opponent behind the head, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that against a taller foe like Tyson Fury.
The thing about the something that Abstract brought up. I'm sorry, I was on mute. I was trying to talk, but I realized that I was on fucking mute. But because he brought up the stoppage. That was a bad stoppage. The only thing was that there was no protest from Gerald Washington.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't hitting nothing. Go look at, the thing is, Wilder fanboys would say, well, it doesn't matter because he didn't protest. And if he would have hit him, he would have, annihilated, he would have killed him or something like that. Whatever the thing. But he wasn't landing. And Gerald Washington he came there to lose. Like, I'm not saying he threw a fight. What I'm saying is he just said, fuck it, this is a payday. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting Deontay Wilder, biggest payday of my career. Just get in there and see if I can give him a good fight. He had the right game plan. I mean, he was able to jab him at will, and he was able to cause some of those things by feinting once in a while. Had he closed distance, man, some distance, and and one of those ways of doing that is once you jab, shoot your overhand, your whatever your strong arm is, right? If you're a righty, you shoot your overhand left. If you're a southpaw, you get what I'm saying, right? If you do that, you close distance automatically, right? Unless you're hesitant to shoot your power hand, so you're throwing your punches off your back foot, ready to escape. Had he been a little bit more aggressive, I just wonder what would have happened, man. I'm not saying he would have beat Wilder, but I think he would have really laid out a blueprint of how to beat him, how to beat Deontay Wilder. He did it with the jab. He did it with the feints. And I think a lot of that has to do with height, right? So now let's take it to Tyson Fury, right? Tyson Fury, who's 6'9", if you believe BoxRec, he's 6'9", and has an 85-inch arm reach. 85. That's ridiculous, right? Wilder's somewhere at 83. I mean, that's also ridiculous too. But this is a guy who's got a little bit longer arm reach. We'll be able to punch him in the face. He'll be able to jab his face.
The thing is, Wilder's more athletic, and I think Wilder's probably quicker at this point as well. In sort of landing certain shots like the straight right and stuff. I mean, look, for me, if the Tyson Fury from the last weekend shows up, I think Wilder will beat him. I think he'll stop him. If Tyson Fury's anything close to the Klitschko fight or the the Chisora fight, how he looked in those fights, I think. I mean, I've been one of the biggest critics of Wilder. I mean, he's fucking horrible. Some of the things he does is like, I sort of like wonder how the fuck has this guy become a world champion and got as many wins as he has. And then I watched. Has anybody seen the video Hatman did where he broke down Wilder's record?
No.
Oh man, he's like, bro. I mean, talk about exposing somebody. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but a lot of the people that Wilder beat, like a lot of those names on that 40 knockout or whatever it is record were cruiserweights, were guys that had, in previous, like there was one guy he'd beat that had been knocked out 2 fights before at light heavyweight.
He fought bums.
No.
He just he fought bums. That's all he fought. Yeah. And
so the combination of his power and the fact that he's been fighting fucking little smaller bums is the reason for it. I couldn't figure it out until it was brought. I saw someone actually take the time to break it down, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's why.
I see Wilder's power as fitness. And this is what I mean by that. His power is legit. He's a wiry guy, right? He catches you.
Yo, what's up with the background noise?
Okay. I think that was ElDude. I thought that was me, maybe. So what? Okay, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, Wilder, his power. I see his power as 50-50, right? I do believe he hurts you when he hits you, right? And it's those awkward punching, punching techniques that he has, right? And that's being nicely. That's saying it nice that it's awkward. It's pretty shitty, but whenever it lands, it's obviously that's the part that makes it not so shitty. It actually, you can see that it hurts his opponents. But then again, he gets kind of these stoppages, and he's doing it. He gets these weird stoppages. Then he also is fighting guys that have been knocked out before. Okay, so what happens when you put him in there with a guy who has never been knocked out? Okay, then people will say, well, look at Ortiz. But then again, when you dissect Ortiz's resume, who did Ortiz really fight? Right? And I have to say this, he was hitting Ortiz with illegal shots as well. Okay? So he's palm shotting in back of his head and his face and all that stuff. And let's face it, man, when you're going up against a guy who has high blood pressure and you attack him like that, and Wilder, the one thing I give him is great athletic ability in terms of he's an elite athlete. He can fight like that for 12 rounds. And for a heavyweight, that's pretty amazing. That's one of the attributes that he might have on his side. But when it comes to punching technique, I'm not totally punching power. I'm not totally sold that it's it's like I've heard people say his punching power is better than Mike Tyson's. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not better than Mike Tyson.
No.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
I don't think Mike Tyson was knocking out like heavyweights.
His punching power is better than Lennox Lewis. No. Lennox Lewis was breaking people's face open. Okay?
It's slitting people's lips.
Breaking their lips.
Mike Tyson was hurting guys with everything. Everything he fucking threw. You saw the physical, that you saw him wince, the physical impact. You saw him shrink away from him. And big guys, some of them, like, fucking twice his size. Like, saying that's just ridiculous. It's fucking.
I'm not totally sold on his power, and this is why I want to see this Fury fight. I have to see it because I think that Fury, with the questions about him, makes this a pretty even fight, right? The questions meaning the 2.5-year layoff. He'll be going on 3 years of not fighting a legit fighter. Somebody worth mentioning. And so that's what evens it out and maybe tips it. Like I'll say Saturday, what was it? Not last Saturday. Yeah, it was last Saturday, excuse me. Last Saturday's fight with whatever that guy's name is.
Pianetta,
right. I would say Wilder beats that fighter. But was that fighter Fury just not showing what he wanted to do? In other words, knowing he's going to fight Wilder, or is he getting warmed up? He needed this fight in order to see what he needs to work on, and Wilder's going to be the guy where he puts everything together. And because I'm telling you right now, if he can fight half as decent as he fought against Klitschko, he's going to give Wilder all types of problems.
Walker Mustang asks, Tyson could KO all bombs, but he couldn't KO Evander. So it's not a question, it's a statement. So yeah.
Well, I mean listen, Evander Holyfield,
yeah,
fucking strong as fuck, man. He was strong.
This guy. Yeah. He fought for the longest of time with a heart problem.
Great. And Tyson was past his prime then. Tyson had a very short prime.
Right. Like Tyson that came out of jail, that Tyson was way past his prime. The Tyson that before he went to jail, that's the best Tyson, right? Even after he lost to Buster Douglas, right? You look at the opponents before he went to prison that he he beat. In terms of the way he did it was still impressive. It told you that he was still good enough to beat mostly every fighter.
But you know what, Matrix? Even after his past his prime, he still looks impressive. his style, his education in the ring, the way he throws his combinations has never gone away.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. The problem with him was the mental part. You know, after that was the problem.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even Tyson, past his prime, with that particular style, he was capable of defeating 80% of the boxers still in the high rankings, man.
Agree.
When he was way past his prime.
The thing with Tyson is his defense was underrated. Yeah, he had good defense, and he had what you don't really find much, which is elite speed and elite power. Like he was like. People talk about his power, but he was quick, man. Speed at which he used to deliver them punches, man, were just fucking crazy. Like,
well, Wilder says he's better than Mike Tyson, so I don't know.
No,
I've never seen Mike Tyson try and throw punches at somebody and fucking nearly knock himself out, fall over himself like he did in the Spilker fight and in other fights. Like, fucking hell.
And it's, it's sad, man.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry, ElDude. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just gonna say that that's why the pound for pounds come into play. Even though it's just subjective and it's all opinions and shit like that. But if you put Deontay Wilder's style up against, say, a Lomachenko, a GGG, a Canelo, shit,
not even close.
He get knocked out, man.
He can't. I don't even think he can throw a jab.
Close.
I don't think he can throw a jab. I don't think he can throw 1-2 left hook like properly.
No, he's gonna get knocked out. All these guys will knock him out. You shrink him down to their size, you're gonna get beat.
Well, he's just too big. Give him some credit.
Yeah. I mean, to compare him to Tyson is ridiculous. Tyson's prime was, like, even before the Berbick fight, like Marvis Frazier, Jose Rabauta, Reggie Gross. Those fights were the start of his prime. Do you know what I mean? That's why he was the youngest ever heavyweight champion. He peaked very, very early.
And even when he lost against Buster Douglas, man, it was questionable because that was a long count for Buster Douglas. If you guys look at that fight, Buster Douglas got a few extra seconds in that particular
Buster Douglas he got up on the 10 count, really. I think it was the 10 count, which he should have been counted out.
He was down for 13 seconds. He was actually down.
13 seconds. Look at that shit.
Yeah. Because I can remember watching that. My granddad was a massive boxing fan who got me into boxing when I was a kid, and I can remember we recorded it on VHS, and as soon as it finished, like my granddad was like rewinding it on the old VHS players, and in fucking counting it, fucking 13 seconds, man. He's going fucking mad, like. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I don't think Tyson took Buster Douglas seriously at all. And Douglas fucking fought the fight of his life that night. He fucking jabbed the shit out of Tyson that night.
I heard Tyson starved himself.
I think they fought in Japan, and I think Taz were saying that he just kept on drinking, like partying like all night and shit. Like
and I heard him starved himself before like the weigh in the fight to get in shape, so he wasn't like fat and overweight. I don't know if that's true.
Mike Tyson was stupid, man. He got rid of what worked for him. He got rid of the guys that got him there. He got, he fell for the bullshit, and he surrounded himself with a bunch of hustlers. Yeah, he sold out. He sold himself out. More importantly, that's what he did. And he hooked up with Don King, listened to what Don King had to tell him. And he got rid of the guys that got him there, the guys that were going to look out for his best interest.
Well, Don King did that.
Yeah,
Don King
definitely.
Everybody dropped. Damn. Yeah, Don King he knew that in order to control Tyson, he had to force his entourage to basically leave, so he could, because he didn't want Tyson listening to other people, right?
Yeah, because think about it, right? If you're Don King, why would you want Tyson, who seems vulnerable to like, a older man with a lot of knowledge who can kick some bullshit to him, right? If you got somebody else that could counter that and be like, yo, that's bullshit. He's selling you nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Even it was not just Tyson who got exploited by Don King, man. There was a lot of even like a lot of people. Chavez, the Chavez whole thing, man. Chavez keeps on going on how. I'm not sure you guys saw. It was an ESPN Deportes, I believe, where Tyson and Chavez were talking, and he said, "Your best friend, Don King," and he just looked at him like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tyson must have looked like fucking food to a fucking snake like Don King, you know, because he was a vulnerable guy. He really was, like, emotionally very young and vulnerable, you know.
Mike Tyson, and I hate to say this, you know, because, you know, I am talking about another human being, but he's a very, like, retarded person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what do you mean?
And I don't mean that. I'm sorry. I don't mean that in a. He's like autistic, I guess, man. The best way to say it. He's like good at one thing, but real like dead to everything else. Like he didn't understand any other things.
Yeah, there might be something to that because he was very into sort of like boxing history and sort of like history of war, and he reads a lot and yeah, in other areas.
That stuff could mess with you, man. That could mess with you and make you listen. We can all speak to something that we think about a lot, right? We think about, like, I used to think about numbers and boxing and shit like that just to like distract my mind from other stuff. But when you have no concept of anything else that's going on, you know, Mike Tyson seemed like that type of person. You know, like we all could fantasize about certain things we want to do, certain numbers we want to hit, and what other people in the past did, before us. But, you know, we have a concept of what's going on around us. Mike Tyson didn't seem like that type of person. He didn't seem that.
You know what? Now Mike Tyson is he's very knowledgeable, man. He knows everything that has to do with the bad side and the good side of the sport, which was, I always wonder, he could be one of the best promoters, one of the best trainers, you know, just because of his experience, you know, with the good and bad, man. He could definitely
Mike Tyson had to have
a young fighter into greatness.
Look at all the bad things that had to happen to Mike Tyson in order to get him to this point of his life. He needed to lose all that money, right? He needed to have people walk away from him, you know. And I still think that there's with all, if we're to believe everything that we're to know that was said about Mike Tyson, I believe that there's demons that still fuck with this kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be that emotional, and it was staged. It was real. You know why I knew it was real? Because he would say things that didn't make sense. I was like, what the fuck did he just say?
you know what, like, Matrix? I believe I totally agree with that, man. And when it comes to Deontay Wilder, I think he's putting up a show. He's faking it. You can tell he's trying to put that Mike Tyson theme going, but it's all fake, man. You can see it. It's not legit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's something to. I get the feeling that if you have a nice conversation with Deontay Wilder, he's actually a friendly dude. Like he's a friendly person. Like he'll make, you know, you can have a nice conversation with him. If I had to say, out of the three guys that that have the most media attention when it comes to the heavyweight division, Fury, Tyson Fury, and Wilder and AJ, I bet you, I'm willing to bet that the most open to have a conversation with you and make you laugh and find him to be even more charismatic out of the whole group will probably be Wilder. Wilder or Fury. One of the two.
One of the two. Certainly not AJ. AJ looks like a asshole.
But you know something? You want to
like a young Mike Tyson.
No. Maybe, but what I like about this kid, AJ, the one thing that I do like about him, it's the way he presents himself. It's exactly that. The way he presents himself. He gets the whole thing about. Now we'll see in the future if he gets into trouble. That's different, right? Trouble and presenting it and hiding trouble to make yourself look good. Of course, I think that shit is bullshit. But I don't have a problem with a guy who's like, you know, I really don't want to be talking to all these people I don't know, but I'll do it for the money. You know,
he's a gentleman.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a gentleman. He gets that he has to do this part in order to get what he's getting. I mean, think about it. The kid is 27, 26, or some shit like that, right? and he's had like 20 plus fights, and he's already made about $50 million in his career going into this fight. This is a guy who's doing well for himself, and there's a lot more money coming his way. Now, I get that he has a good promoter, but a lot of that has to do with him himself. Look how he presents. Look how he presents himself. He presents himself.
He's made a lot more than that as well. I mean, I think he made 25 for just the Klitschko fight. He's got loads of sponsorship deals.
Right.
So he has a real promoter. He has a real promoter, probably a PR team around him.
Yeah.
Who tells him what to do and shit. Wilder is just by himself, and that's why he's acting like a maniac, because he's trying to get some attention, because he's not being promoted.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that.
He's not being promoted the right way, like a guy like you could see where Anthony Joshua capitalized on it.
Well, who is Wilder's promoter? Is it Lou DiBella? Because Finkel's his manager, how's his advisor?
I don't know. It's a scam.
Yeah, I just feel like he's getting hustled behind the scenes, man. I just get that feeling he's getting hustled behind the scenes. Let's see what happens, man. That's why I want to see this fight. I'm wondering if all the people behind Deontay Wilder see this fight as their cash out fight. Like, you know how we're thinking,
what do you mean?
It's the other way around, which could very well be, right? It could be, I think Stu was the one that brought this point up about not trusting Tyson Fury and his emotional state, that he can retire at any second and might as well cash him out.
I said that as well.
You said that too as well. But
well, because he's showed there's been a lot of signs of that with Fury throughout the years.
Absolutely.
And in actual fact, I've got to make one point here. If you think, sorry to interrupt, I know I've just interrupted. Sorry, mate.
That's okay.
On Saturday night, Frank, when they said in the ring, the fight's made, it's done, blah blah blah. There'll be an announcement in probably a couple of days. That would have taken us to Tuesday. Where are we now? Saturday.
Yeah.
Where's the announcement?
Where's the announcement? I agree. Yeah, there's something behind that. But I agree with you. I agree with that. What you said, Abstract. That you think that maybe
you're saying it's the opposite.
Frank Warren. Hello.
Yeah, go on, mate.
I apologize. I thought you guys couldn't hear me. That you felt that Frank Warren might be cashing out on Fury. And you guys make valid points. Your point about not trusting his commitment to boxing. But I also wonder if this could be the other way around as well. Like, they're saying, look, man, this style is not going to fucking last long. It's just not going to last long.
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, man, I see that style and I say, why hasn't this dude haven't been knocked out yet? I don't get it.
He almost got knocked out by Ortiz.
Huh?
He almost got knocked out by Ortiz.
Yeah, exactly.
A 50-year-old.
His fights are fixed.
No. He's just fighting shitty competition.
I've been saying for months, for probably a year and a half, as soon as Wilder come up against somebody that has a bit of speed and power that can step in because if you look at the way his defense as well, like sometimes he'll jump back with his arms, like, completely up in the air. I mean, like, what the fuck is that? Where did he
watch
learn
the Spilka fight? That is horrible.
It looks like he's playing basketball.
You know what I'm trying to
playing basketball and boxing at the same time.
Seriously.
Yeah, volleyball. He looked like a volleyball player trying to fucking hit the ball over the net or something.
A world champion.
Yeah.
So wait.
Go ahead, brother.
No, I was gonna say. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bucho.
No, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I apologize for fucking talking talking over you and shit. I was gonna say, no, ElDude did a video one time with him in the boxing gym. Okay, and he was at a boxing gym, and he was hitting the bags, and I think he even recorded, like, he may have recorded some other guys hitting the bag as well. I go to the gym.
Oh, the one I'm hitting the bag, and I call it the touch of death.
Yeah, it could have been that one. It could. You. I know you did a few videos where you were at the gym, and there was like some boxers around and shit. You know, like guys that were boxing as well. And the gym that I go to, there's a lot of guys that that have sparred before. They still spar actually. They still spar. Some of them spar guys like Curtis Stevens. You know what I'm saying? Like I know two kids that I actually known them since they were kids that they spar with him. And I've talked to them. I'm interested like in a video. I might do it. Maybe ElDude, you could do it. To just have guys that box and look at Deontay Wilder's style and ask them what the hell do they think? Because I've brought it to the gym and I'm like, what do you think about this style? Like it just played like a highlight. They were like,
you're wasting your time.
Yeah, we talk about it.
They're like, what the fuck?
No.
They're like, damn, I never heard of this kid before.
No, but it's the killer instinct that he has.
Right. No,
That's
but
what
some of them will
counts.
say that. They'll be like, the only thing I could say is that maybe he's so big and
You can get away with it, like you said,
Yeah.
big. You can get away with it in a heavyweight division, but because he's 6'7" and he's usually fighting at best 6'4" guys,
Right,
6'5".
right.
He's gonna be fighting a 6'9" giant that can move. I don't
Yeah.
care how fat he is. I don't care if he's at 50% of his
Yeah,
best.
stamina. He's like Andy Ruiz Jr. You know, oversized but stamina. They got stamina.
Yeah.
they got stabbed.
Don't get
Yeah,
fooled.
yeah.
Don't get fooled by his looks, man. By his size. Fury can move, man.
Yeah, people get caught up in the whole body beautiful thing. I mean,
Yeah.
That means
look at this sort of like the contrast between Fury and AJ. I mean, even in the Klitschko fight before AJ was dropped, towards the end of the round before, he looked like he was ready to drop. He could barely lift his arms. He was
Well, those
fucked.
legs. Those
Yeah,
legs.
he was fucked, man.
Well, here's
Listen.
one of the reasons why I believe Tyson Fury is going to win this fight is because I think he's closer to greatness, not just the Hall of Fame, greatness. If he defeats Deontay Wilder, and he's only 2 fights away from greatness, AJ and Tyson Fury. I'm sorry, Deontay Wilder, because he already defeated Klitschko, and who's next? AJ and Deontay Wilder. Those two fights right there. If he's able to win those 2 fights, I think he goes down as one of the greatest heavyweights of our time.
Oh yeah, and
I mean,
talk about a
certainly
movie, the Tyson Fury movie.
You can't sort of like overstate how much of an achievement it would be given what he's come back from. My only thing is, I think I would like him to have at least 1 or 2 more fights before this one. I know it's not going to happen. It's ideal world. It's not an ideal world, and what's going to happen is going to happen. But I just don't think. I mean, if you think about it, he's going to go straight into another camp now. He did not look anywhere near ready in that fight for me.
Yeah, he. I say that guy that fought the last fight he just had gets beat by Wilder. I can see that, but then again, man, it's
No.
I'm with you, Bucho. I see that same thing. I'm like, really? Do
It's
I think
fake? He was
Wilder will
faking.
beat this
Wilder's
guy?
in the crowd. Wilder's in the crowd watching the whole fight. Fury's not gonna show his tools, man. He's more than that. Oh shit, we have a donation by Steven Schneider. Thank you for your donation. You're really helping us out here, man. Loyal listener. Right.
Big up, Steven.
Sorry, what?
And here's the thing, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think if Deontay Wilder is able to defeat Tyson Fury and AJ, he's not gonna go down as one of the greatest boxers of our time. He's gonna go down as one of the most awkward champions of our time.
Steven Schneider says it does 1 million easy, I think. I think he's talking about pay-per-view buys. Wilder against Fury, 1 million pay-per-view buys. I don't know. I say a bit less than that, but I hope he does well. ElDude saying that Fury would go down in greatness if he beats Klitschko. He already did. Wilder and then Joshua. I'm telling you, Tyson Fury's life is fucking movie material. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, man. He wins the heavyweight championship. He starts singing after the win. That's gonna be in the movie. Then he gets so fat, alcoholic, on drugs. That's gonna be in the movie. Makes a fucking comeback. Beats Wilder.
Recovery.
And then, And then
it's
at the
really
end,
just
the
that
last
as well.
fight,
It's
AJ.
like he come back to the UK, made a few sort of like questionable comments, and the win wasn't even really celebrated by the media at large here, and that was one of the things. They go on about it a lot. Big John Fury goes on about it a lot. It kind of was celebrated, but nowhere near as much as AJ's was.
And another thing that I
on top of that, man, just very quick, brother. On top of that, if you're losing weight, it's very impressive. I mean, in the United States, worldwide, obesity is a big problem. Yeah, man, yeah.
He lost 100 pounds. So, and I saw some of his. There's a channel. Maybe you guys are aware of it. It's called Boxing Physique or some shit like that. It's
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? He got he's got an accent. I don't know where he's from exactly.
The clickbait thumbnails.
Yeah, it seems like that. But the one thing that I do like about his videos is these training. He covers like the training regimens that a lot of these boxers do. And Fury was showing Fury's workout, and dude, he was like deadlifting. It looked like 600 pounds. I could have sworn maybe I'm a little off on that, and it looked like he was deadlifting it. You know what I mean by deadlift? Like he's picking it up past his up to his like thigh area, so he puts it on the floor, then up to his thigh. Did it like 10 times.
Yeah, this guy has strength.
You gotta be a fucking strong man to be.
People
doing.
are saying
I know
he can't hurt Wilder. That's what they're saying. He can't hurt Wilder. Am I really fucking insane? He's that big.
He can hurt Wilder.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, he can hurt.
Get out of here.
He can hurt Wilder. He's a big man, and he showed when you hurt him, and when you hurt him, and you get him pissed off, he could get vicious as well.
It's an interesting statistic as well. Every time Fury's been dropped, he's gotten back up and stopped the opponent in the same round.
Yeah, so what does that tell you, right? What is he's clowning, feels comfortable because of his boxing ability, but when you start actually becoming a threat, he goes into survival mode, and that boxing ability is still boxing ability with killer instincts. That's what that tells me.
And I'll tell you what else as well. Whoever's saying he's got no power, he can't hurt Wilder and whatnot, go and watch some of his earlier fights and tell me he's got no power. I mean, look, he's not a KO artist. No, he's not. But if you look at some of his earlier fights, he can punch a bit, man. He can punch a bit.
But just real quick, man.
Let ElDude go.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say one thing you got to give Deontay Wilder credit, man, is that dude got a fucking strong chin. He got a straight. He takes some strong punches, and
he has to have a strong chin. He has to have one because he got no legs.
Yep.
Yeah. So I agree with ElDude on that. I wouldn't say strong. Yeah, strong chin is the term we use. He has a will to not just fold over when you're beating when you're getting the best of them. But again, I was going to bring up this point. What's the difference in terms of body? I'm talking about the mass of the body between Cunningham and Wilder. The only difference to me is that Wilder's taller. Okay, Wilder's a taller man, 6'7" versus I want to say Cunningham 6'3", right? 6 feet 3 inches tall, 6'4" maybe.
No, 6'3".
I say more like 6'3", right?
Yeah.
Okay, their body is more or less the same, right? Remember, Cunningham is just cutting weight to fight at 200. Wilder came in his last fight 215. That tells me, you know what that tells me? It tells me that Wilder's a very slim man, a very slim person for 6'7". Okay, because it didn't hurt him to come in at 215. It didn't hurt him in the ring. So we saw what happened, and now Cunningham and Wilder, in terms of punching power, and maybe even mental ability, I think they obviously Wilder has the edge on that. But in terms of body size, I think that Fury could hurt Wilder
coming in.
Cunningham.
Chin open, chin in the air.
Yeah, he could hurt him the way he hurt Cunningham.
Breacher. So did you see the comment about Harper and that African guy?
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't see the fight.
Yeah, he literally walked out the ring. He's not kidding. I thought he meant running in the ring. No, he walked out the ring.
During the fight?
Yeah, as soon as the bell rang, he literally walked through the ropes out of the ring.
Who's this?
What the fuck? Why?
Harper. Harper versus, I can't pronounce the African name. Just type up on YouTube. It should be in the comment.
So he just walked out of the ring.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like the Mike Tyson? What was it? Both? No, Mike Tyson.
Yeah. The Polish.
I'm not saying it.
What's his name? The Polish guy. The Polish guy.
Oliver McCall stopped in the middle of the losing fight. Is that what you mean?
No, the Polish
like
guy.
An Oliver McCall kind of thing.
Yeah.
But remember Tyson against the Polish guy?
Versus Harper. That's the guy's name.
Harper. Didn't both walk out of Mike Tyson?
ElDude, the Polish guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
The guy from Poland.
No. You're talking about.
He walked out. Just tap in
Really
right
low blows.
Galata.
Yeah.
What's his first name? Andrew Galata.
Andrew.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the guy walked out of the ring. Yeah, some people break down, I guess. Oliver McCall is the worst. That's what's fucking cringy as fuck.
Yeah, when he was crying, and then when he was asked about it the following day, he was saying, "Well, I was playing possum. They didn't give me a chance." I was like,
"Yeah, right." Somebody said they threatened his family.
Playing possum, but Oliver McCall can't get away with it. It's like, fuck off, dude.
There were all these rumors that somebody threatened his family. They told him like you have to quit the fight, so he was crying. I don't know if that's true. I don't think so. Okay, so I'm gonna end the show right now because I wanted to do 1 hour only, and I think we did more than that. Thank you all for coming, guys, and I'll send you the links for the next show. It's gonna be on Sunday, so have a good night, everyone, and everyone in the chat. Thank you very much. I put the links of everybody who was in the panel, so go check out their YouTube channels. All right, guys. See ya.
Cool. Peace.
Thank you again, Steven Schneider, for the donation. Yeah, again, thank you everybody in the chat. We're gonna be doing more shows leading up to Canelo against Golovkin. More fight analysis videos and more live broadcasts. And then we're gonna have a countdown to the fight and a 12-hour podcast. I don't know if we're gonna be able to survive, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna break the record. 12 hours. Get your drinks ready. It's gonna be fucking insane. Alright guys, take care, good night, see you on Sunday.